I'd say most of you are suggesting it's not okay in your eyes, but we're starting to understand it a bit better now and veer towards that. Hang on, actually, as Roy was just saying, Roy was just saying there in Martin, it's actually good value for money. So the reason why we're asking is because of the new report out that says councils are charging almost 74 million quid to collect our garden waste. That's just over half of the councils in the UK that are doing it. Well, currently that includes Rugby and Hinckley. So if you're under those councils, then you already pay. Paul O'Brien is the chief exec. He's from the Association for Public Services. We're getting mixed views on this morning, Paul. Good morning.
Good morning.
What is it you think people fear most about this? Is it the fear of being ripped off, or that they're paying for stuff already, and where does it end?
Well, I think hopefully that if we have a conversation about this, then people will understand that there's other services that councils provide that are very, very serious in their nature for vulnerable people, and councils' budgets have been hugely cut over the last 8 or 9 years, and they're having to make some very, very difficult choices about what services they can continue to provide for free and what services they're having to introduce some small charges for.
So in terms of charging for this is a win for the councils, isn't it? Because it gives them some money back.
Well, all it does is really cover the cost of the service, of providing the service. Of course, people can take a choice to do some home composting themselves, or they can drop their garden waste off at a household waste recycling facility for free. Those who want to continue to have it taken away are subject to a small charge in many areas.
What's the reality of that charge getting bigger and bigger over the years? Because that's one of the concerns the caller had, is that, it'll be 40 quid, say, to start with, then it'll go up and it'll go up and it'll keep going up, and then it isn't necessarily fair on those using the service.
Well, I think, as I said, it's about recovering the cost of the service. That's what people are looking at, and if you look at something like our average charge, by the way, was 34 quid. We identified as being the average charge for local authorities across the UK.
46 is one of the charges we're seeing locally, right, as well.
What I would say in that's maybe about 80 or 90p a week on average. It's about a third of the cost of a cup of coffee in a coffee shop in order to get your garden waste taken away and dealt with for you. So
councils aren't profiting by doing this?
No, not at all. I mean, you've got to consider that a lot of councils have received something like 40% cuts to their finance since 2010. So basically they're trying to make things balance and continue to provide services that many people rely on.
One of the callers we had earlier was saying, do you know what, they used to come weekly, now they come fortnightly. I'm still paying in and they've always provided this service. Why should they stop now?
Well, I think something I would say is that has to be recognised as the great job that's been done between councils and the public in terms of recycling. If you look at recycling in 2001 in England, it was something like 11%. It's now up at 44%, and I think the public and council should be applauded for that effort. I think most people are enthusiastic about it. It's just with garden waste as a discretionary service. Councils want to continue to provide that service, but in the current harsh financial climate, the only way they can do that is to make a small charge for providing that service.
Paul, what's the point where councils say we need to introduce this? What is it? You say they have to make those difficult decisions. When does it get to a point where they go, that's it, we're going to charge for a discretionary service, as you call it?
Well, councils operate in an annual budget setting process. And that kind of starts just now for the next financial year. Really, it starts as early as this. And then they're sitting there looking at, do we close down a care home facility? Do we close a facility for vulnerable children? Or do we introduce a small charge for garden waste to offset some of those losses? It's very, very complex. Councils provide a couple of hundred services. For many authorities, they're providing a couple of hundred different services, and they've got to find ways of funding them. They've got to make very, very difficult decisions about what they can continue to fund for free these days.
All right, thank you for your time this morning. Paul O'Brien from the Association of Public Service excellence, and is it not so excellent that you're being charged potentially for your garden waste? We heard there it's a discretionary service and councils provide